Alright, what's going on, you guys? Brian here with another recap video. This is going to be my quick recap of what happened on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's get right into it. We had a Randy Orton Matt Hardy segment where basically it was kind of the same thing that happened last week. Randy Orton leaving Matt Hardy laying after hitting two concertos to Matt Hardy on the steel steps. Of course, last week, Randy Orton attacked Matt Hardy when Matt Hardy was asked why Randy attacked Edge a few weeks ago. Randy hitting him with an RKO and hitting a concerto in the ring. This week, Randy hit two concertos to Matt Hardy on the steel stairs. We had Aleister Black go one-on-one with Eric Rowan. And Aleister Black using two Black Mass kicks finished off Eric Rowan. We heard from Charlotte Flair, who we found out last night at NXT Takeover Portland, is going to be challenging Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania. She made that very clear when she accepted the Rhea Ripley's challenge after Rhea successfully defended her NXT Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. She cut a promo talking about that, talking about the NXT, talking about how the women of NXT feel like they're entitled to everything. They didn't have to scratch and claw their way, like she did. And that was pretty much it for that. Riddick Moss successfully defended the 24/7 championship in a triple threat match against Mojo Rawley and R-Truth. There was Drew McIntyre defeated MVP. Before the match, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar's advocate, made it very clear that to McIntyre that at WrestleMania that he was going to hear the winner and still your reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world, Brock Lesnar. He also made it clear that that's going to be the same thing you're going to hear at Super Showdown coming up a week from Thursday when Lesnar defends the championship against Ricochet at that event. So that was pretty much it for that. McIntyre picked up the win over MVP. We had Rusev and Humberto Carrillo. They were in tag team action. They lost to the team of Angel Garza and Bobby Lashley. It was what it was. We heard from Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch talking about what happened last week with her and Shayna Baszler, where Baszler attacked her and then bit her in the neck like a vampire. Then Becky made it very clear she had a paper bag full of some money and that she threw down in the ring, saying that was going to pay for whatever fine they have that the company has for her, because she's going to get her hand when she gets her hands on Shayna Baszler. She's going to make her pay, and it's going to be violent. Shayna would interrupt with a satellite promo saying that, you know what, she's gonna tear Becky apart. She's gonna win the Elimination Chamber match coming up in a couple of weeks. That will involve it will be Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Natalya, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott. The winner of that one will go on to WrestleMania to face Becky for the Raw Women's Championship. Basically, Baszler made it clear she's going to win it and then go on to WrestleMania and tear Becky apart. Becky made it clear that, Elimination Chamber, thank you for telling me that. I'll be keeping a close eye on that one. So something's going to happen. Something big is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber with those two if Baszler wins. Speaking of Asuka, I mentioned her in that list of names who's going to be competing in the Elimination Chamber match. Her tag team partner, or tag team champion partner, Kairi Sane, was in action. She took on Natalya. This was an okay match. Asuka interfered when Natalya wound up on the outside of the ring. She kicked Natalya when the referee's back was turned, and Natalya wound up getting counted out. So Kairi Sane picked up the win in that one. My opinion on that, I feel like they are really not doing anything with those women tag team championships that Kairi Sane and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, hold. I mean, when was the last time they defended them? Back at TLC? I mean, they made such a big deal about those championships, and now it's like, oh, well, we're not going to have them being defended on only when we want them to be defended. So when we want them to be defended. So I don't know. I feel like they really devalue those women's tag team championships. They made such a big deal about them when they first introduced them, and now it's like, you know. So moving on, we had the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, deliver a sermon. He basically talked about phase one of his mission was completed last week, or so he thought, when his team, him and his disciples, defeated Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and the Viking Raiders. He then said phase two is simple. He's going to root out the weak, the non-compliant, and if anyone that is not compliant with his vision and his mission is going to be taken out, just like the weak. So afterwards, the Viking Raiders would come out. They would go after the AOP and Buddy Murphy. Rollins would make his escape, but he would wind up getting a stunner from Kevin Owens on the ramp, or on the entrance ramp. That would set up a six-man tag team match for later on in the night in the main event. We heard from the OC. AJ Styles made his return to Raw along with Gallows and Anderson. I mean, AJ Styles was the only one that returned, but Gallows and Anderson joined him. He started running down a list of names like Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, Roman Reigns, Goldberg, Ricochet, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. He then called himself the new Mr. WrestleMania. He said he was going to win the two-way Mountain Trophy at Super Showdown. He would then be interrupted by Ricochet, who wanted to fight him, but then Carl Anderson would intervene and say, no. I'm not going to let AJ's first match back be against Ricochet. I'll take him on. So that was the next match, Ricochet versus Carl Anderson. Decent match. Ricochet looking to build momentum heading into his huge WWE Championship match against the champion Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown a week from Thursday. He would wind up picking up the win in this one over Carl Anderson. I wasn't surprised that Lesnar did not hit the ring. Maybe they're saving it for next week. But so Ricochet building momentum towards his championship opportunity. Then I'm trying to think if there was anything else. So in the main event was Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders taking on Murphy and AOP. This was a solid six-man tag. It was a bit of a rematch, of course, from a few weeks ago, I believe it was, when they did that six-man tag team elimination matchup. Owens had the match won. Rollins came out and interjected himself. They took out the Viking Raiders. They looked like they were going to go after, they were going to finish off Owens, but here come the Street Profits down to the ring. They went after Murphy. They went after the AOP. Then they were going to go after Rollins, but then the Viking Raiders kind of like stopped them, and they were going to go after him together. But then Rollins escaped, and they wound up leaving the AOP and or leaving a member of AOP and Murphy laying with when Ivar and Montez Ford hit dual splashes on both of them. So obviously the Street Profits are joining the whatever would be called against Rollins and his disciples AOP and Murphy. So that was it for that one, and that was pretty much it for Monday Night Raw. Overall, I thought it was an okay episode this week. Hopefully we'll find out what they're going to do next week, since next week's Raw is going to be the go-home show before Super Showdown. That's probably where they'll do the build-up, last build-up for that show. So with that being said, like I said, that was an okay episode this week. If you guys watched it, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. This has been my Monday Night Raw recap for tonight's episode. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.